Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the new L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Foundation. And I've been wanting to do this video for a little while, but every time I would go and look for a couple of shades that matched my skin tone, everything was always sold out. It was always the darker shades that were available. So finally, a couple of weeks ago, I found a couple of shades that I thought were close to my skin tone. I bought them, I tried them out, and now I want to share my thoughts on the foundation with you. So if you're interested in seeing what I have to say about this foundation, then please keep on watching. Okay, so everybody and their sister has been talking about the new Infallible 24-Hour Foundation by L'Oreal. And because of that, I think that is why I couldn't find color shades when I would go to the store. Now, it took a really long time to find color shades, and honestly, it was always the darker shades that were available. Everything else was sold out, and finally, I found a couple of shades that I thought were my skin tone. I snagged them up right away, and I went home and I tried them out. Now, I have to be honest with you, usually when I find a foundation that I really like and that works great with my skin, I don't change. I stick with one product or a couple of products that I find that work best with me, and that's it. Unless something catches my eye or there's a lot of skin ingredients in it that I really love, or maybe there's a foundation that has a high SPF, I will always be open to try those products out. There is 30 shades in this line, and I ended up buying shade 410 and 420. Now 410 I thought looked a little bit light, but I thought, well, I am kind of pale right now. I haven't been self-tanning, so I will grab that one and see what that's like, and I'll also grab the 420 because 415 in between was a rose undertone, like a pink undertone, and I am not pink undertone. I usually go for neutral or yellow undertones because my skin is more yellow. So I went with just the two colors because after 420 it just looked too dark for this time of the year. So I will probably have to buy that one come summertime. So 420 ended up being my color shade, and I think it matches perfectly. I have to be honest with you, it's probably the one foundation that I have used in years that has matched my skin tone dead on. Like, I mean dead on. I was so impressed when I put it on. Like, it matches perfectly. I don't even have to go down my neck with foundation to blend it. It's just, it worked great. So I'm really excited to see what the next shade up would be come summertime, and I'm hoping that that will match pretty good too, because this might be a little bit too light come summer. So I'm gonna worry about that then, but right now, this color, 420, is my shade. So I am wearing the foundation today, and as you can see, it matches really well to my neck. I do have a little bit of bronzer right here, but no bronzer on the jawline, and it just matches perfectly. And I just love that. I'm just so excited by that because that is just rare when it comes to foundations with me. I usually have to mix a couple of different foundations to make a custom color, but to have this match perfectly, I'm just so excited by that. I just could scream right now. I just love that. So anyway, this foundation is an SPF 25 as well. There is titanium dioxide in it. It is a medium coverage, and it is a natural finish overall look. So it's not matte and it's not too dewy. Now, I do have to say that this foundation is definitely buildable, so you can make it really full coverage if you want to. I actually tried both ways, and I really loved the full coverage look. And as you know in my past videos, I like to still see some of my skin come through and have it more natural looking. But to be honest with you, with this foundation, the full coverage looked beautiful on my face, and I was just so excited by that because normally I don't go for a full coverage look. So this definitely covered all of my redness like a dream. It also covered past acne marks as well. The only thing that it didn't cover and that I had to go in afterwards to spot conceal was a dark spot that I do have right around my jawline. Now, I just got that dark spot within the last year and a half, and I'm not sure why. It's probably due to the sun, I don't know, but I see my dermatologist once a year, so I'm gonna ask him about that and see what we can do. But that was the only spot that it didn't cover, so I just went in with a little bit of concealer and just touched that up, and that was it. But it is so nice for a change not to have to go in and spot conceal all over your face, which is what I have to do. And it just covered like a dream. So I think that if you're somebody that likes a medium and a full coverage look, you're gonna really love this foundation because you can do it both ways and it's so nice and buildable. And even when you pack on the foundation on your face, it's not cakey at all. For some reason, it still looks really natural and I didn't get any cakiness whatsoever. And most foundations will definitely look cakey on your face if you keep applying and building it up. This didn't do that, so that is also great. So I've tried this foundation with a primer. I've also tried it with just sunscreen and no primer. And I've also tried it alone just with moisturizer without a primer and a sunscreen. Now, I would never recommend not wearing a sunscreen. You should always wear a sunscreen no matter what. But I know a lot of us kind of skip it if it's a cloudy day, but you should definitely still wear a sunscreen. So I loved it with the sunscreen. I loved it with the primer. And I also loved it with just the moisturizer. It gave me the same finish and the same wear time every single different step that I use. And I was blown away because normally, as you know, when you use a primer, most of the time your foundation will last longer in the day than using a foundation without a primer. So honestly, I loved wearing it those 3 ways. It gave me a really nice wear time. Now, of course, I did not test it out for 24 hours like it says it's supposed to last for 24. I refuse to go to bed with makeup on. I will not. I just cannot do it. So I definitely did not try this for 24 hours. I did try it for at least 15 hours, and the foundation lasted all day. Every step that I've done, like with the primer, the sunscreen, and with just moisturizer, it definitely looked a little bit shiny at the 15-hour mark, which is to be expected because I do have normal to combination skin. But it looked really nice. My makeup did not move around. Everything stayed in place all day, which I was really surprised because I didn't use a setting spray at all of all the times that I've worn this foundation. So it just lasted all day and I just can't believe it because, as you know, some foundations will start to break down, you know, at the 6-hour mark, the 4-hour mark, and this literally lasted on my face for 15 hours. It looked so nice. And the little shine that I had, I didn't mind it because I do like a dewy finish to begin with. But of course, powder up if you don't like that look. And if you are somebody with dry skin, there was a couple of times that I tried this foundation and I did have a little bit of a couple of dry patches on my chin. So what I did was, instead of spraying my whole face with a setting spray, which could make your face dewy, I got a cotton ball and I sprayed the cotton ball with the setting spray and I just dabbed on the areas that were dry. And I'm telling you, that dry spot went away and it just made everything blend nicely because that powder look on the chin with the dryness just didn't look very good. So if you have that problem and you just have certain areas on your face that are just a little bit dry, spray a cotton ball and just dab on those areas, and I'm sure that will work for you as well. And it worked for me, and my face did not get dry throughout the day. Like, the way I had put everything on was the way my face looked at the end of the 15-hour mark or the 10-hour mark, other than I was just a little bit shiny. So that is really great in a foundation. I really loved that. This foundation has blown me away. I just can't believe it. This has been my go-to foundation for the last 2 weeks. I haven't even grabbed for anything else. So that just tells you that this is really good. Now, the only downfall that I have with this foundation, and it's not a big deal in my opinion, but if you're somebody that is sensitive to fragrance, this foundation may bother you. So it definitely is pretty perfumey. I'm not gonna lie, it really is perfumey, but trust me when I say this, and I know everyone's different and sensitivities are different, but when you're putting it on your face, yes, you smell it, but within 20 minutes to a half an hour, that smell dissipates and it's gone. I don't smell it at all throughout the day. It goes away, but yes, when you try it on your hand or you put it on your face, you do smell it and it is pretty perfumey. But again, it does go away, and I found that it never bothered me. It never gave me a headache, and it's not a gross smell either. It's almost a little floral smell. It's not gross, but It may bother you, but it's definitely tolerable. It goes away and there's no issues. I have applied this foundation with my beauty blender, and I've also done it with a brush as well. This is the IT Cosmetics Heavenly brush. It's dual-ended, and I loved it both ways, but I always tend to go back to the beauty blender because I just like the way this sponge applies foundation in general, and this gives you more of a full coverage packed on look, and the brush gives a more natural look. So you can definitely build it with the brush as well, but I just found that this packed on the color better. So those areas that were more red on my face, like my past acne scars and whatnot, this just covered them up better. So I prefer to use the sponge rather than the brush. This is a 30 milliliter foundation. It comes in a glass container. It has a pull-off top with a pump, which I really like. And this foundation is really watery, I find. It's not thick, and I actually like when foundations are a little bit more watery because I find that it spreads nicer on the face. You're using less product, and there's less chance of cakiness as well. So I will show you what it looks like on the hand of how watery it is. And as you can see there, it's just really running. I didn't put a whole lot, but if I were to put more, like, it would be dripping off my hand right now. So I'm really hoping that you can see that. And it's just so nice and buildable. I'm telling you, if you haven't got your hands on this foundation yet, you're definitely going to want to try it out. The price is right. Here in Canada, it was on sale, so I spent $20.99. Now, I do find that's still a little bit expensive for a drugstore foundation, so it was regular $23. I got mine at Shoppers Drug Mart, which is a Canadian store here in Canada, and that was the only store that I could find the two shades that I ended up buying. Walmart, everything was sold out. At the time when I was looking on Ulta, everything was sold out in the lighter shades that was closer to my skin tone, and now everything's available. So definitely there are stores that you can find this product cheaper. So I will link a few places that you can buy this foundation below. And I have to say, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is one of my top foundations that I've ever used. Out of all the foundations that I've reviewed on here so far, this one is hands down my absolute favorite besides the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I will always reach for my IT Cosmetics CC Cream. You definitely need to have a lighter coverage foundation in your makeup drawer as well as a full coverage, and now I have that full coverage to medium coverage foundation option now, and I absolutely love this foundation. And regardless if it's on sale or it's not on sale, I would be buying this product again for sure. It's definitely, like I said, one of the top foundations I have ever used, and the quality, the texture, it's lightweight, it's not sticky. Only negative thing I have to say is that it's fragrance, but again, like I said, that smell dissipates. That L'Oreal foundation is evening out my skin tone, giving me that coverage that I want, and that IT Cosmetics CC Cream is also good for lighter days in the summertime or no makeup looks. Just like, they're just good options to have in your makeup routine. So I really hoped that you found this video helpful, and I really hope that you go and try this foundation out as well, and I hope that you have a good experience like I did. And if you already have been using this foundation and you love it or you hate it, leave a comment below and let us all know what your thoughts are on this foundation as well. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you could subscribe, that would be great as well. And don't forget to click that bell so that you never miss any of my future videos. So I will see you in my next video, and take care. Bye guys.